Welcome to Magdala and to our new and latest series on the 12 Apostles here at the Sea of Galilee in Magdala, an ancient fishing port town where fish was processed and went on to be exported to Rome through Caesarea Maritima, a town therefore of great interest for fishermen. And here we are beside a moored boat ready to go out into the sea. So that's our title, Go Out into the Sea. Duc In Altum. Go out into the deep. And the deep of different characters, different people, 12 guys among the very first whom Jesus met, who met Jesus, who got involved with him. So different personalities. I'm very happy to be doing this presentation. I was asked to do that here at Magdala for you because I love the 12 apostles, and for me, in a way, they're the best proof of Jesus' divinity. Like, how could these guys that have such different backgrounds be so transformed, characters who were so difficult, and be so transformed and reach such a level of victory, of love in their hearts, of self-giving, of dedication. For me, it's the resurrection is obviously the great mystery of our faith, but the transformation of our lives for us and for our salvation. Jesus came on earth. The Word was made incarnate. So this is about more than the 12 apostles as individuals. It's also about, and really primarily about, God's transforming power and His project with us. Here at Magdala in Duc In Altum, we're privileged to have 12 extraordinary icons developed by Gerardo Centeno, a wonderful iconographer from Chile. And he has given us a very wonderful rendering of these 12 apostles in the great tradition of icons. And we'll get into that a little bit better. Not everybody is familiar with icons, and we should get into that a little bit more. One of the thoughts that occurred as we prepared for this series was that each one who will be watching this series will be coming from a different place in their lives, a different moment in their lives, a different circumstance, different relationship fields, and maybe there's some great difficulty in some of the lives of the viewers of this series. Difficulties with somebody at work who's very tough, or very irresponsible, or very unfair. Difficulties with somebody at home. Maybe there's an addiction involved in somebody that's very close to us in our lives, a brokenness, an infidelity. Maybe there's a stubbornness, a closed-mindedness, a narrow view of things. And this contact with these 12 apostles can really enlighten us and open up our hearts to pray, to faith, to see these difficult people as Jesus saw a broken Peter who had denied him 3 times, a tax collector working for the foreign powers, a zealot who was ready to do violence to kick out the foreign powers. This contact can be transformative for our approach to the people who are difficult in our lives and who are part of a project that God continues to do in their lives and in our lives through them. So this is another piece to this experience that's also a grace, and for which we can pray, that we can all pray that everybody who participates in this series will be deeply blessed by grace. I love to contrast the different reactions of people to grace in the scriptures, and we just think maybe one of the biggest contrasts is when the angel Gabriel comes to Zechariah and he refuses to believe. He's so rational, he's so critical, he's demanding signs, he's demanding explanations. How is it possible? It can't happen. He can't be the father of a child. His wife is too old. It's impossible. And he's struck dumb. And Mary, on the other hand, so open soul, so trusting, so full of faith, so unconditionally ready to serve. Or we go to Calvary, and there we find the women, and the men are nowhere to be seen. And one of them, Mary Magdalene, is the first one at the tomb, and the apostles are not around. Okay, we can excuse them that they could be the next target from the authorities to be wiped out, to finish off this movement that's so troublesome for the status quo. And so they have reasons not to be there, but to see these women being there And this also highlights the challenging path that many of us men make and the long time we need to, we're slow cookers. And we take a long time, but all these 12, they get transformed. And this is amazing. I'd like to read the names of the 12 apostles because that's what we have, and God calls us by name, and that's what Jesus did. He looked into their eyes and he called them by name. Chapter 10 of Matthew's Gospel, then he summoned his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to drive them out and to cure every disease and every illness. The names of the 12 apostles are these: first Simon, called Peter, and his brother Andrew, James the son of Zebedee and his brother John, brothers, Philip and Bartholomew, friends probably, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus, father-son relationship, and Thaddeus, standing there on his own. We don't see another relationship. Simon the Canaanian, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him, a very broken man. This is amazing. We're in for a good ride with these 12 apostles. Their transformation is a slow process, and they don't just spend some time with Jesus. And he's the key to all this transformation. They spend all their time with Jesus. They leave everything and follow him. This is what the 12 apostles are before they're sent out. And they're contemplating Jesus, they're seeing him, they're watching him, they're taking cues from him, they're being transformed also by his reactions, and they're learning that wisdom of not being violent, of not retaliating, of not taking revenge, of leaving space for others, of God's mercy, of trust and providence. They're being transformed by this regular, solid, constant contact with Jesus. So as we go forward, I also discovered not just 12 individual apostles, but the 12. And that'll be the subject of the second part of our introduction. And then we were going to start with the apostle Bartholomew. Maybe you know very little about him. We know a lot about Peter, about John, about Matthew. What do we know about Bartholomew? He's lost in the crowd, no major action, so he's worth a good look at. Look forward to seeing you with us in the series as we go on.